So while the Canon M50 is an amazing camera, and there's so many good things to like about it, in fact, so many good things that I've made like 4 videos already on my channel about it, it's not all good things about the Canon M50. So today I have 5 things for you that I hate about the Canon M50. Welcome back to Aero Vlogs, everyone. Today I'm talking about the Canon M50 yet again, but today is a bit different. Instead of talking about things I like and cool things about it, I'm talking about 5 things I hate about the Canon M50. Alright, so the first thing I really don't like about the Canon M50 is the fact that there's only one dial. No, we want more dials. While I do love the touchscreen, and I do love how it's very responsive, and I like that it's a flip-out screen and everything like that, having more tactile buttons to actually fiddle with the camera and actually change your settings is super helpful. So when people like Canon or Sony come out with cameras that don't have those dials, it makes it just a slower process to change your settings and quickly get that one shot. So while I appreciate that Canon is trying to, shrink down the size of their cameras, they put multiple dials on the Canon M6 and the M6 Mark II, but yet for some reason they only put one on the Canon M50. They could have at least put one back dial and one index finger dial, but no, they only did one dial. They do have a function button right up top. You could set the dial to shutter speed, and then you could set the function button to like ISO or aperture or something, and that is still quicker, but they should have just put another dial in. Alright, so the second thing I don't like about the Canon M50 is 4K. While I do love 4K, and I think it has a place for people filming, I don't think YouTube and the place the Canon M50 was directed towards was 4K. I don't think 4K really had a main place in the M50. That's kind of the reason that they didn't put it in the Canon M6, the original one, because no one really needed it. No one really wanted it. It wasn't that huge of a thing. And then by the time the M50 was getting released, everyone was like, let's go, there's 4K, but it crops in way too much. It loses that awesome autofocus. It's not amazing. I have shot some test footage in it, and it does look good. It looks crisp and sharp, but I would never use that for YouTube or really anything except for maybe like a little short film, because when I'm doing short films, I'll switch it into manual focus, use the focus peaking, and then that's fine. The crop doesn't really matter that much. But I just really wish Canon would have just, made it at least a little bit less of a crop and maybe still had decent autofocus, but, you get some things and other things you just don't. The third thing I really don't like about the Canon M50 is actually the grip. Now, the camera itself feels amazing. I really like the camera. It feels good. It's a solid feeling camera compared to the Panasonic Lumix G7, which I did a video on. You can click right there if you want to go see that video. But compared to the G7, its grip is like this small. It's so thin. It's like nothing. The G7 had a fat grip. It just felt really plasticky. But the Canon M50 feels good, but it doesn't have that comfortable of grip. And you can buy cages, but I mean, those are like $70 or so. I don't know. I just wish they would have made a bit of a deeper grip. It is also helpful to have a smaller camera. I just wish they might have made that just a small bit bigger of a grip, but that's okay. Alright, the fourth thing I don't like about the Canon M50 is the battery life. I've actually found it's not terrible. I will say it's not horrendous. So this isn't like the worst thing about the camera, but I will say it's not amazing. There's cameras definitely with better, but it does have a pretty small battery compared to something like a, Canon R or R6 or something like that. It's not very big of a battery. I mean, sure, it's a small camera, but I wish they would have made it just a little bit more efficient so you could have gotten, just a little bit extra juice. But honestly, it's good enough for me for the most part. And you can also buy some third-party batteries for $20 or something, and, that works too. But that's just something to note. The Canon M50 doesn't have that great of battery life, but, you can deal with it. It's okay. It's not bad. It's good. So the fifth and final thing that I don't like about the Canon M50 is the lens mount. I'm sorry, it's not that great of a lens mount. I wish they would have just, at least added more lenses when they dropped this camera, and when they dropped all the mirrorless cameras, but, this has been said before hundreds of times, but it's not that wide of a variety. I wish I had, there's no like ultra wide with a fast aperture. The only ultra wide angle lens that you have is the 15-45 and the 11-22, and then the Sigma 16mm, which is a prime lens. And I really wish that they just made like an 11-22 f2.8 version. It just would have been so much better and would have made all the mirrorless cameras such a better buy, because it's just better, it's just better to have a faster aperture and actually get better low light, because the Canon M50 just doesn't have that great of low light, and that would be one of the extra things I would say that I don't like, is the low light capabilities. But it's also partial to the actual lens itself, and when they don't give you lenses that can really save the not as good low light performance of the camera, it just kind of makes the camera weaker. There is the Sigma 16mm f1.4, but it's a prime lens, and honestly, I use the zoom feature so much on lenses when it comes to vlogging that it would just be kind of weird to go to a prime lens to vlog, because I wouldn't have that flexibility of being able to punch in and then zoom right back out and be able to vlog and then get some cinematic b-roll all with one lens. That's really the beauty of a zoom lens, is that you have that flexibility to zoom in and zoom out and just get all that different angles. So yeah, that is the fifth thing I don't like about the Canon M50. That's it for today's video, guys. If you liked this video and you want to see more videos on the Canon M50, and if you want to see maybe something like 5 good things I like about the Canon M50, then make sure to leave a like on today's video. Comment down below what your top 5 things you don't like about the Canon M50 are. And anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Tactile Canon M6. So, I really don't like about the Canon M50 is the fact... Alright.